Not to flex, but I'm pretty fucking good at quitting shit. I've quit weed, I've quit nicotine, I've quit other drugs I'm not gonna name, I've quit pleasuring myself, I've quit watching adult content, I don't eat fast food, blah blah blah. Not the flex, but I'm pretty good at quitting shit. Topic of today's video is quitting weed, and I'm gonna tell you how to do it. By the end of this video, you're gonna know everything you need to know about quitting weed. Now I want to talk about the importance of motivators like intrinsic motivators, like quitting because you want to be a better person, or quitting just because you want to level up, versus extrinsic motivators like quitting for a drug test, quitting because you got your shit taken away from you. I don't know what the reason is, but something externally that's forcing you to quit. And then there's environment, right? Because when I went on vacation to see my brother in New Mexico, let me tell you, the last thing on my mind was weed. Even though I'd been smoking every day to that point. And you're probably wondering, well, I can't just move across the country to quit weed. I'm not motivated now. Relax, relax, relax. I'm going to tell you what you need to do step by step. Now, the first course of action that I would recommend is what I call not a tolerance break, but a relationship break. Because what happens when you take your tea breaks? You stop completely for like 30, 45 days. You come back, your tolerance is really low, you get really high. And then you end up smoking so much that you need another tolerance break. And you get stuck in this cycle and nothing's actually changing. It's almost like a binge and restrict cycle. What you need to do instead is smoke less for a certain period of time. So instead of quitting entirely for 30 days, you're going to smoke like once or twice a week for 30 days. And what this is going to do is it's going to force you to rebuild your habits. When you're going 4 or 5 days without it at a time, you're going to have no choice but to do some internal work. You're also going to have to build a new lifestyle, a new structure, a new routine. And all of this is going to carry over once you go back to your desired use. So let's say you smoke once a week for a month and you want to do it only on the weekends. So after the month is over, you go back to Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. You are much more likely to actually stick to that and not abuse it. Because in that time you spent only smoking once a week, you had no choice but to adapt to it, to build a new lifestyle, to build some new habits. So really you got to take some time to build a structure. And you really got to ask yourself, what led you up to smoking so much in the first place? Because it's not just coincidence. And if you never address those underlying factors, and I promise you, go and take that tolerance break. Your tolerance will be through the roof within a month. So that's one thing you can do that can really help you rebuild your relationship with cannabis. And not everyone needs to quit entirely, right? Some people, they just want to do it in moderation, and I think that is an achievable goal. But what you do need to do is break the psychological dependency. And a great way to do this is taking a prolonged step back from using it. Because I'm fairly confident that I could smoke just on the weekends, once a week, twice a week. I know for a fact I could smoke in moderation, but I've proved to myself by going over a year without it. I don't plan on going back anytime soon, but I'm just putting that out there. And I'm not saying you have to go a full year without it, it can just be 2 months. Prove to yourself that you can live your normal life. Prove to yourself that you're a functioning human being without it. And a good rule of thumb is cannabis should only enhance where you're at already in life. If you're bored, if you're sad, if you're having a bad day, it's probably a terrible idea to smoke weed because it's just going to make you numb to how you feel. It's not going to create any actual solutions. It will create the illusion of a solution, though, right? Because for like what, 1 or 2 hours, you might feel all right. And then as soon as you're sober, those thoughts are going to start coming back. And if you do this over and over for days, months, even years, you're going to find you're I'm going to say you're emotionally stunted in terms of your development, right? This is not a good habit to get into. But anyways, one thing to keep in mind is it's not about quitting weed, it's about becoming someone who doesn't want to smoke. That's the theme in everything I just said. Slowly rebuild your identity, and the way you do that is by proving to yourself that you are who you say you are. Your actions have to align with who you want to be. Take baby steps in the direction of sobriety, or if you don't want to quit altogether, start implementing new habits. Build a structure that revolves around not smoking until nighttime. Build a structure that revolves around having a productive 5 days of the week and then chilling out on the weekends, right? So just like Higher Up Wellness said, it's not, what does he say? It's not easy, but it is simple, something like that. Shout out to him. But yeah, just keep that in mind. And now you know how to quit weed. Now you know how to quit weed or cut back.